whoever ends up watching, let me know if you can hear us. I want to make sure we got everything. We're not muted or anything crazy like that. But yeah, if you all didn't know, I know we had the 3 o'clock that we had set up with David Serpa. He heard I was in the neighborhood, decided to come over. So do me a favor, give me 2 seconds. I'm going to make sure I share this out a little bit so we can get some people to follow us and see what's going on. Oh.
It's so fancy over here. Anytime that you could show up and somebody's got more than one monitor on the table, I get pretty excited.
I got too many.
You got 3.
I got 3, and I got the one up there too. Hey, Chet, I see you just popped on. Can you hear us? Let's see if he sends me a reply real quick. He might have just scrolled through. You know what we can do is do this to check it. Bam, pop that up.
Listen to our own sound.
Yep, listen to ourselves while we're talking. Yep. Okay. Cool. Chet says he can hear us. Cool. All right, then we're on fire. Look, I don't even have our show notes, and the thing is, it like almost doesn't matter because we're gonna like vibe anyways, like we always do.
Like we always.
So if you all don't know, this is David Serpa, top producer, big time top producer. Outside of that, he is a major team builder. Outside of that, he's a broker owner. Outside of that, dude's an author. Outside of that, he's a TV personality. Like, and I can keep going. There's plenty to do here. And I will even say that David, when we were looking, so it was myself, Kim, and Chet, when we were looking to actually create our team, we were, and this is a big reason why I started doing the Blitz. The big issue that I had is that nobody helps anybody as a real estate agent when you show up. Brokers don't care about you. Yep. Nobody wants to help you.
That's right.
And it was one of those things where, our broker that we had, I remember hanging out with David, and if you guys don't know, he was in the Marine Corps too, right?
That's right, bro.
Combat veteran, so it was one of those things where I was talking to David one day. I think I reached out to him on Facebook, and he told me, he says, you need to just leave your broker. And I'm like, oh, but you don't understand. He says, no, you don't understand. You need to leave your broker. It's toxic. You'll see what's going to happen. And sure enough, he was right. So ended up talking to David. We ended up over at Signature. And David sort of took us under his wing. And he was the person that sat down and did the first batch of interviews for all the agents that wanted to join our team, and taught us the process, how to build a team, what to do, when to have meetings, how to structure people, how to do training, like all of it. And I always say, I think I've given some value to David over the years now.
Hell yeah.
But in my opinion, what he gave us as far as building what we've built, so we went from 4 people to 20 people now, and then 20 getting ready to go to 60. We couldn't have done it without him. So I'm excited to actually have him on. Kim, since you're watching this, do me a favor, share this out in other places, because I'm down like 3 computer screens or anybody else. Share this around so people can see that David's on here. We had some, he was just out of the blue. He's like, all right, well, I see you right down the street. So if you all saw the last live one I did, John Ruff like literally just walked in my office and handed me like a ton of popcorn. And then when I logged on with you, John is in the background. He's like, we were just over there. And David's like, you're right here.
Popcorn.
Yeah. So, out of the blue, he's like, hey, I'm on my way. And he just came over. So here we are.
And you know what? I pulled up your show notes for you too, just in case you want them.
Cool,
just
man.
Because I'm such a sweetheart. But yeah, John Ruff came over and saw me. Freaking cool. Ethan from Creative Dynamics came over and saw me, and we were hanging out with them in the office and talking to them and Zach. And John Ruff is gonna be one of the sponsors for our book tour. And so John Ruff, Rough and Ready Moving, I appreciate you being one of our 3 big sponsors for our 7-state book tour that we're going to be going on. And so I appreciate that's a huge announcement for us.
I want to know more about that, but we'll talk about that in a minute. I want to know more about the book. And it's funny because when I saw the title, and we'll get to it. So this is just us talking, and this is the thing, because if you've watched any of my YouTube stuff, I'm usually very structured. When we hang out, it never works out that way, ever. Never.
It's hard to be organized when you're around me. I'm a maniac.
So it's pretty great. But I definitely like the name of the book. I was like, that's magic. So we'll definitely talk about that. So real quick, give everybody a quick rundown of who you are, what you do, and that way they can walk into this knowing who you are.
First, hey Kim, hey Sandy, hey Mario, what's up guys? Hey Chet. Yes, we look like twins with our beards, and because we are also just both so handsome and charming. But so a little bit of a rundown of who I am. What's up, Chet? I reached the 7th level in 4 years. I haven't taken a real estate appointment in 8 months. I have a team of over 20 people. We've done 1.4 million in GCI so far this year. And what I'm doing is I am not transitioning away from real estate because I've reached the 7th level and all of that's going on. Hey, what's up, Gabriella? All of that's all the way up and running. We're really excited about that. But what I'm doing is, in order to really be an effective CEO in real estate, not just a real estate team leader, you have to start attracting everything around real estate and turn yourself into a lifestyle brand, not just a real estate agent. So that's what I'm in the process of doing, becoming a CEO.
It's true. You know, I think we've had this conversation multiple times, and I'm a big preacher. I think the real estate market, or real estate as it is, the agents, I won't even say agents. I'll say the business itself. The business either needs to start cannibalizing itself to reinvent itself.
Yes.
Or it's just going to die. It's one or the other. It's sort of like when I look at the newspaper, the newspaper, there was a moment when they saw what was coming. They had a choice to cannibalize themselves and reinvent themselves to actually be competitive.
Yes.
But then they stayed with, nope, we're going to stick with our bread and butter. We're just going to sell advertising in the newspaper. And then it died.
Yep.
And that's where I see the real estate industry right now.
Brother, you're 100% right. So I've been being flown all over the country. I was on the Ritz-Carlton at the closing table last week with Sam from Big Block, and I was talking to freaking millionaires and billionaires about real estate. I was flown to freaking Iowa 2 weeks ago from a big freaking franchise company that wants to freaking buy what we got going on here. And at the end of the day, these dinosaurs, these franchise fee companies, they have no skin in the game for getting you paid. They are actively working against you.
They just want their hands out
to have the real estate agent replaced by a freaking app.
Yep.
And so we are either going to get involved as real estate agents to fight against Realogy, to fight against all of these people that are coming after the real estate agents. They're willing to take everything that we have that we're giving them, but then they're going to take that. They're going to use it to put us out of business. So
we're paying them.
Die.
We're paying them. We're paying them to take our business. That's
right, Sandy.
That's the crazy part. Yes.
Change or die with the old. Adapt and overcome, or you're freaking old news.
And that's pretty much what's happening right now. And that's why I think when I started the Real Estate Blitz, it was one of those things where, I'm not making money off this. I'm not a coach. I'm not a guru, but I feel like I have to do something, even though it's just me.
That's right.
I got to do something to try to help real estate agents wake up and realize that if you don't become better, if you don't become professionals, if you don't start working your ass off and you don't start railing against the traditional norm, which is the basic broker model, that we're going to be out of business. Yep. And I don't think, and not out of business like my children's generation. I'm talking about in the next maybe 5 years.
Yes, brother. If that. See,
if that.
See, the thing is okay, so you have Realogy that is absolutely 100% feeding on agents right now. They're feeding on us. And what they're doing is they're selling us a bunch of old, outdated platforms. They're selling us a bunch of old, outdated ways to go and get business. And what they're doing is they're just basically like, hey, grab a sweatshirt and get on the Titanic. We're going to go out looking for icebergs, because there is an Uberification that is happening to real estate where real estate agents are going to be replaced by technology unless we get sexy.
In my opinion, it's our fault. My opinion, it's our fault. We're doing it to ourselves as agents.
Yeah.
And, I have my opinions on that, and we can talk about that here
in a
second.
With it, Hanson.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think, another one on top of that, what bothers me the most is you can't really be mad that people are trying to find a way to make an income on an industry that produces a lot of income.
That's right.
So as a business owner myself, I can't really hate on what people are trying to do. It bothers me that we as agents are suckers. And we're paying people, and really we're walking down a path to where we're going to allow people to create a job for us. Yes. And that's why most of us, we didn't want a job. I had a job for 20 plus years in the Marine Corps. I don't want a job. That's why I started doing this, but we're allowing people to create a job for us.
So this is what's happening right now. Unless you, so part of, and I'm going to plug something here really quick. So the Broker Collective, which is basically listen, I don't want you to leave your broker. In fact, you could even work on the homes team here going forward and stay with your current broker. That's the way that we're working this out. It is 100% about the Broker Collective. Stay with who you want to. Let's essentially unionize real estate agents, unionize our brokerages so that we get access to better HMOs, better healthcare programs for our families, better child care, toddlers to teens. You show up to a freaking office meeting, bring your kids with you, leave them at the office because they actually want to be there. Go to the gym. Go get your nails did, girl. Because the thing is at the end of the day, we have to adapt and overcome. What we're going to have to do is we're going to have to get smart. We're all of us independent broker owners. We're going to have to freaking bind together. If we want access to what the franchise fee companies have, if we want access to the numbers that they have, Kris McCullough and David Serpa, even though we work with two different brokers, we're going to have to figure out a way to work together.
We got to band together. And this is, so I almost view it, it's sort of like building a team. If you build a team effectively, it's a group of individuals that come together, band together to outspend, outmarket, outmaneuver, and outwork in any market they want to take over. I almost feel like it's like the flip where we're banding together to really just keep our livelihood. And it needs to happen. And that's why, you know, the big reason why I started Blitz, and I got asked recently because I just started doing the interview stuff. And the interviews are kind of a natural progression from me doing live radio and stuff anyways here down in San Diego.
Sure.
And, you know, I get asked, it's like, well, are you going to try to make money and this, that, and the other? I says, look, I'm looking bigger. I'm looking past just the money. Now, if eventually I monetize it, it's one thing, but I'm looking at where we are and I'm concerned about how I feed my kids.
Yes.
You know, that's what I'm worried about.
And so Kim, you nailed it. Stop hating on each other. Stop freaking getting after each other. At the end of the day, we want to feed our children. We want to freaking get paid. And if we're not willing to work together on this because the pie is big enough, how many times have freaking Kris McCullough and David Serpa gone against each other for a listing appointment? 0.
That's right.
0 times in the last 4 years. We have competed against each other 0 times. The pie is big enough, but what we have to do is we have to get really good at our jobs.
Yes.
Because real estate agents that are just regular entry-level real estate agents that have no apps, no technology, their listing appointment sucks, all of those different things, they are the reason why the rest of us are feeling like we have to take these big hits to our commission. Don't do it. That's the freaking lie. That is where you will be, because Uber replaced taxis.
Yep.
Right? Uber replaced taxis. Party buses are just fine. So what we need to do is we have to remain synonymous with quality. And I'm actually working on something right now that I'm getting ready to talk about all over the Western United States.
Because I lost, like I told you, we had a whole thing of show notes, and I don't even know why I bothered making them, because again, whenever David and I hang out, we never stick to anything. We did a podcast together. And we'll talk about your podcast. Actually, plug it real quick.
Yeah, hey, It's About More Than Real Estate is the name of the podcast. It's About More Than Real Estate with David Serpa and Kris McCullough. And I ended up having one of the best conversations that I've ever had. We talked about rap. We talked about jazz. We talked about how the rap industry is very similar with the real estate industry. Yep. He talked about all of his combat experience. I mean, it is 100% about more than real estate. But and what I'm doing going forward is, and this is for all of you real estate agents that are looking at David Serpa and saying, what the hell is that guy doing? Well, guess what? We're extraordinarily close away from inking a deal. So I'm just going to tell you what's up. I am rebranding myself as the hype man. I am going to work 100% in sales. I am looking to own 10% of 100 companies by 2019. At the end of the day, I want to work in sales and marketing. I spent all last week at the Ritz-Carlton listening to a bunch of billionaires and millionaires with great ideas and people that are involved in tech with great ideas and in networking about the REOification of new homes. Because REO's dead. But freaking new homes, that's the final frontier for networking for real estate agents. We're going after them. So if you want to get involved with the hype man, if you want to be a part of what I got going on, or if you've got a great idea that you can't get legs behind, 10%, and I'll make your 90% worth a whole hell of a lot more if I believe in it. Because what we're doing is we're taking think tanks, we're taking nerds, right? And we're combining them with entrepreneurs, people that can sling anything.
Right.
We're giving excellent product to excellent salesmen, and then we're giving them support so that we get a small piece of everything. And then what we're going to do is we're going to control real estate. We're going to control everything around real estate, because influencer marketing is the future.
Yep.
That's why I'm talking to this guy.
That's what I want to talk about too. So
I made the announcement today because this guy's a freaking influencer, and I want Kris McCullough to hype stuff with me so that what you can do as an influencer and other influencers out there, you can set up passive income to get paid for the rest of your life for making one sales call or talking about it on your podcast. Get a bunch of hype men, get a bunch of hype teams, give them a QR code, which is your QR code. They're going to go out. They're going to get you paid forever just by turning them on to the hype man.
Right. And, you know, so this is, you brought up something that I think is key. And it's funny because Kim, I'm obsessed. I'm an obsessive person by nature anyways. I'm just built funny. And when you look at traditional marketing, which is why I said we had to cannibalize as an industry in order to redefine who we are. If you look at traditional based marketing, it's dying and it's almost dead. There's still stuff that works. But when you look at brand marketing, this is, and I think you saw, some people saw it on my personal Facebook page, but they didn't understand it. When you look at an entrepreneur has come out with his own shoe line. And it's sold out. An entrepreneur, not an athlete, not a, not a famous rapper, not a famous singer, not a famous nothing. It was just some dude that is an entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur at that time, has built, and he's got his own freaking shoe line that's sold out in 24 hours. There's a shift.
The future is 100% with influencer-based marketing. What I'm going to be doing from the road, starting on Friday, and then we're going to be loading up the RV on Monday, but we're speaking this Friday at the RERC Broker Collective about the 3 breakdowns of the deal, Serpa 6-figure secrets. I'm going to tell you all about how to freaking get paid. I'm going to tell you about our 7-figure pledge that we're going to be making. 8 agents on my team took a pledge to make 7 figures in 2018. I'm going to give you the actionable steps, whether you're doing it on phone or whether you're doing it at open houses, to where you can make 7 figures. It's just an algorithm. It's just math. It's just a process. You can break it down, and like Kris says, I'm worth this much money on the phone. I'm worth this much money at an open house. Figure out where you're worth money and then go out and get paid. I am worth an extraordinary amount of money connecting salespeople with ideas, connecting people with opportunities. And so that's what I'm going to do professionally for the freaking rest of my life, is I am going to help people sell, help people have opportunities, develop apps, develop intel, so that what we can do is we can perfect our industry.
We got to
across the board, so that we don't get replaced by Zillow.
I sometimes I wonder, is it, I was driving into work this morning, and I was, maybe again, because I'm an obsessive person, I'm starting to question, is it just like we've already hit the iceberg? It's just going to be a slow sink. Maybe I should go find a boat. Like I have moments where I'm like, man, are we? Because I listen to stuff, and I'm having on a lot of different coaching. People that are bigger in this space. I'm bringing them on. I'm starting to get a lot of people, especially on the investor side too. And I'm just wondering, is it too late? Is it too late to even cannibalize ourselves to try to reinvent? Are we just sinking, and it's just inevitable that our industry is going to die?
I think it's a really interesting thing. And I think that, so I was talking to some people who are multi-millionaires who are involved in franchises. And they were saying to me, they're saying, hey, listen, there's nothing to worry about, because at the end of the day, what's going to happen is if Zillow ever decided to start a real estate company like Redfin did, then we would just all pull our marketing away from them, and they would just die overnight. Negative. Redfin is already doing it. They're already replacing brokers. We have to get synonymous with quality. Everybody looks at me and they say I'm crazy. They say, look at your media, look at your marketing, you're crazy. If you do not become a celebrity, you will not be able to do whatever the hell it is that you want to do. I am creating local celebrities that are nationally recognized.
So I want
do you know
to
how many freaking airports that I walk into that I'm recognized at? And what am I doing? I'm not doing anything outside of the ordinary. Just get your face out there if that's something that you want to do. And if it's not something that you want to do, find other ways to get paid.
Yep. So I wrote down a couple notes. So I want to go back real quick, because I want to talk about the celebrity portion here in a second. When I look at Zillow, when I look at Redfin, when I look at Realtor.com, a lot of these things, this is where brokers are confused.
Let's talk about Zillow.
This is exactly where they're confused. So my last industry, I was in the tech industry. That was my thing. When you talk about, the internet has turned into a de facto standard, which is IP based. TCP/IP is de facto, meaning even though that's not a standard, even though it doesn't work as the way that they penned it out, and they didn't have what it became isn't what it was intended to be. It just is what it is, and it won't go away. You can't get rid of it. The general public have become so used to using Zillow. The general public have gotten so used to being able to find content information. This is where someone give these guys
some coffee,
right? But this is like, if you listen to influencers. So let's talk about like Gary Vee, since somebody brought him up. if you listen to these guys, they're trying to tell the truth of what is coming and what's here and what's coming.
And we're not paying attention.
You know, and we're not paying attention, you know, at all. And brokers don't get it because they're lost on, because they've always had this fort built and they're like, well, what's the big deal? It won't come on a fort. And the difference is, like, World War Z has started and your fort can't stop the zombies from overrunning your shit. Like
I just had a conversation this morning with all my partners over at the RERC, with Wendy and Kurt and Keith and Rob. And I was telling them, it is war. Everything is war. And I was talking to this guy who is a billionaire, Ken Clothier, and he said,
he's a good dude.
Dude, great dude.
I have one of his systems.
And freaking incredibly intelligent. Yeah. He said, if you are not at the table, then you are on the menu. Mm-hmm. If you're not at the table, you're on the menu. And at the end of the day, what Zillow has done to us and what they're going to continue to do to us is they say, hey, listen, you need to have at least 30%. If you want to be an influencer, you have to have 30% that you're showing up on every third page. Okay, so I buy my 30%, it's $2,000. Now what they do is they start selling everything else out from underneath you. Yep. So then all of a sudden you have 16%. And then they say, no, it's $3,500 now. Yep. That's why it's not working.
Asking for more money.
It's $3,500 now for the same crap that you were buying 2 years ago. And
we're paying for them to put us out of business.
We pay. So this is the thing. Stop working with Zillow. Stop working with Zillow. Stop working with Redfin. Stop working with Realtor.com. Pull the rug out from underneath these idiots.
So here's what's going to come, because I've said that to people. I says, look, I stopped working with them. I just don't work with them.
I don't work with them.
But Kris, I get, now it's funny because you got to understand, we're just, what we do, it's different. We're on a different level.
Thank you,
as far as how we do it. Thanks. Oh, here, let me pop that up. So I hear agents say it all the time. They're usually younger agents, or they're not top producing. They're not knocking out 20, 30, 40 deals a month. And they say, well, Realtor.com, you know, it gives me, you know, a deal. And I'm like, okay, so let me get this right. Just math. You're paying $50 a lead if you're splitting it, or $100 per lead. You're paying $100 per lead to chase somebody. And the reason why you're like holding on for dear life is because you're only working with 3 freaking people.
That's right.
You're only working with 3 people. So the idea for a lot of people to walk away from Zillow or some of these other platforms, it's paralyzing to them because they don't know how else to create business.
So that's part of what we're doing going forward. So one of the things that we're going to be announcing here, and we have an app, we've already developed it. It's all about lead gen. So through Top of Mind Media, Rob Morrow and Keith have been working on this app. And what it is it's a way to get lead gen way under what Zillow is. I was paying $126 a lead. And now Rob Morrow has me under $5 a lead. I'm not going to sell you leads for $5 because we figured it out. But what I am going to do for you guys is I'm going to give you access to all the same systems that the Homes team has built, is building, and will build for whatever it is that we charge you for it. And we're going to be freaking selling it like freaking crazy, because even if it was $30 a lead, even if it was $30 a lead, it's still a fourth of what you're paying for Redfin and Zillow.
Yep. You know, it was one of those, well, you know, hold on, let me pull up.
We got to go after Zillow. We got to go after Realtor.com. We have to go after all these different people. And we also have to go after Realogy.
No doubt.
Hey, Larry, good job stopping Zillow.
Yep. So
that was a good thing.
I want to put that up.
That you did that. Put that money into freaking Facebook if you want to do it. If you don't know how to put it into Facebook, call Rob at Top of Mind Media. He'll freaking set you up. We'll do it for you.
There's so many other great ways to do it. That's what's baffling to me. It's like,
but
nobody. And so I was on the phone with Toby Salgado yesterday because I'm interviewing him, Super Agents Live. Yeah. So Super Agents Live, #1 podcast in the nation for real estate agents. I'm on the phone with him. It was supposed to be a 5-minute conversation. We're on the phone for an hour. And it's mind blowing because the information is out there.
Yes.
Whether you're watching it here on the Real Estate Blitz, whether you're listening to the information's out there. The question is, when will agents commit to treating this like a business and actually implement and understand it's not going to be instant gratification. It's consistency over an extended period of time, good actions, and actually working your business and building a business the right way. So good on you, Larry, for doing what you're doing.
And the thing is okay, so we're all being sold a bunch of bullshit that doesn't work. Okay, mega open houses. We sign up for coaching. We spend freaking $2,000 a month, and they sell us a bunch of bull crap about how all you got to do is work a mega open house, and then freaking you'll get 120 people in through your open house.
And then that's their one thing. Like they get stuck on it and say, that's my one thing because they said it works. But in my thing is, I treat it as marketing channels. Get a marketing channel, go down the marketing channel, master the marketing channel, get to the next marketing channel. So I've been saying it over and over and over. Think big. Start small, move quickly.
But do what you do excellently.
Right.
Do what you do excellently.
Level. You got to become a master.
If you come on this Friday at 9:15 to freaking, so look him up, Rob Morrow, Morrow. Take a look at it. And also, if you go to the brokerage agency, which is on Facebook, you'll see a video about Top of Mind as well. But what was I saying?
Huh? I don't know.
We were in trouble.
We're sitting there talking to Larry. Come to the thing that's coming up.
Come on 9:15, and I'm going to tell you about our 7-figure pack. I'm going to give you, and this is something that we've never done before for anyone outside of Kris's team. We're going to give you our open house script. We're going to give you our script for getting people out the door to book the appointment. And we're going to give you the way that we get people the right offers at the appointments. This is the way that 100% of my team makes over $100,000. And 2 agents on my team are on schedule to make over $300,000 this year. I will give it to you guys for free. No ulterior motives. Show up. I would love for your broker to come join the Broker Collective. But at the end of the day, I don't care if they do or not. I'm going to sell the Machine Gunner's Guide to Real Estate this summer.
And I want to talk about that too, because
I want you guys to show up.
To me, and thank you, Christian. We are sexy men. You're 100% right. And just drink it in, man. Drink it in, Christian, because I think you're a good looking dude, but you ain't us. So the Machine Gunner's approach. Now, for those of you that don't know, we were both in the Marine Corps, did our time. You were in Afghanistan. I was in Afghanistan and Iraq. And, when you hear the Machine Gunner's approach to a Marine, it makes sense. But at first, if you hear it as somebody that's never been in the service, it may not hit you right away until you understand what that means. And it's almost like violence of action. I love it. Yep. So explain it real quick. What does it mean?
So the Machine Gunner's Guide to Real Estate is accuracy by volume.
There it is.
It is like finding out what you do, that you do well, and doing a hell of a lot of it. So I'm going to break it down for you guys in 4 ways on how I built my team. The open houses, and then a team structure, and comparing that to the military, delegation, freaking small unit leadership and accountability. And of course, I developed war tactics and wrote out a whole freaking brief for how I was going to take Winchester. And I also developed a whole series of war tactics for how we're going to take the Western United States through the Broker Collective. You have to think about everything like it is freaking war, like it is life and death. And at the end of the day, what people always end up telling their freaking agents, it's okay to fail. It's okay to fail. If you wake up and you spend that entire day and you freaking die, like at the end of your life, you die and you didn't take the shot, it's a slow death.
Yep.
You're giving every day that you wake up. And at the end of the day, if the next day you have to say, well, man, I didn't get what I wanted to get done. Say, how am I going to feel tomorrow? How you do anything is how you do everything. If you walk by an unraveled hose and you don't put it by, if you throw your socks on the floor, whatever it is that you do, whenever you are being lazy, you will be lazy in everything if you are lazy in anything.
I used to say that all the time. In the Marine Corps, you hear guys that say, well, when I get out, when I get out of the Marine Corps, I'm going to start doing something. And they were usually, like troops,
Hell yeah.
And when I was a troop, I kind of would listen to it and I'd hear it and, I would just ignore it. But then when I became like a staff NCO, it hit me. It's like the reason why you're not doing anything now is because you aren't doing anything now. And if you think all of a sudden when you get out, you're going to move into action, you're confused. You're not in action. You're not going to be in action because you're not in action.
Not now.
Right.
Why not now? So like at the end of the day, this is what the Machine Gunner's Guide to Real Estate is. It's my first year, how I made a killing by doing open houses. It's my second year, how I freaking made a killing by bringing a bunch of agents with me and then taking over the map. And then my third year, how we expanded to freaking 28 agents. I reached the 7th level. And then my 4th year, getting away from real estate, not getting away from real estate. The homes team is going to be up and running for a long time. Sorry, everybody. But getting away from the homes team personally, and then slinging everything else through influencer marketing. And then that's the next level, becoming a CEO, becoming an influencer. And that's what I want to start teaching people how to do as well.
Yeah. I think there's a couple things that you hit on that maybe not everybody's going to get right away. I think the first one, you got to take action, whatever it is, and violence of action. And it's funny because you said whenever we talk about, Kim Steele and Associates, or KSA, what it's completely turning into, most of us are retired Marines or war Marines, so we've always built what we did. And actually that's why our mantra is, we're banding together in order to outspend, outmarket, outmaneuver, and outwork everybody in any market we want to take. Right. So it's one of those things where we have that approach. And that's why this year our goal wasn't volume. Our goal was expansion.
Yes.
We went from one market to 10 markets in a year. Now it's a matter of going into each one of those individual markets we've got a foothold in and basically eating up real estate in each one. So we're doing it on purpose, but I don't think real estate agents or brokers. So let's talk about brokers. Brokers don't think about that. Unfortunately, what I've seen happen to brokerages, they're more focused on trying to create more ancillary-based businesses to compete with the flat fees and everything else to try to, so they can keep their hands out without still having to actually take care of the commodity. And this is what I always say. The agent is the commodity. Yeah. The agent is the commodity. And this is where all the brokers that I've seen, they go wrong. They aren't taking care of their agents.
Yes.
And
well, but Kris,
it's baffling to me.
Let me ask you this, brother. Do you think that most brokers know how to take care of their agents?
I want to believe they do somewhere deep inside of them. And I want to believe that they just don't give a shit anymore. But that's like, honestly, that's almost where I feel sometimes when I look at brokerages and the way that they're established, when I see how people are having to transition. I was talking to, I won't say who, and I won't say, I might say the brokerage. I won't. Well, no, I won't.
Don't do it.
But they ended up having to leave soon because they're like, we were killing it, top producing. We broke out of our shell. We expanded. Yeah. And I'm looking at, I just gave them $150,000. They gave the broker $150,000, and the broker gave us nothing.
Yes. Yes.
The broker gave us nothing, and I'm looking at giving them $300,000 a house. Mm-hmm. I'm looking to give the broker a house next year. Yep. And in return, still get nothing. And yet I'm supposed to be happy because they hug me and smile. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's crazy to me.
So this is one of the things that I've been, there are people, listen, actually there's like 4 or 5 of you that are watching this video right now that I have talked to you about this. The broker has to be able to justify their split right back to you. I'm telling you what, my team makes 60%. But do you know why they make 60%? Because I give them more than 40% worth of value. It's called reciprocity. And at the end of the day, most brokers don't know how to support their agents, in my opinion, because they don't understand the market and where we are going.
It's more than just for those of you that have been around the business for a little bit, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, but I won't say the brokerage. It's more than saying, well, if you join us, we're going to create this. We have this training program in a book that you can read. And literally after a month,
you're on your own.
You're on your own. And then even then, if you want more, you got to pay for it. But it never takes you, it never expands you the way that you want to expand.
Invest in your agents. That's what I did.
Invest in your agents.
You invest time, energy, and money into your agents. Support the hell out of them. The thing is, so this is part of my education platform going forward.
See, I say the way recruit, train, retain.
Recruit, train, retain. Absolutely. But the thing is you have to support these agents. You have to freaking show them how to do it, because the number one issue, look, it's no secret. People come from my team where go from the rest of the world where they didn't make any money in real estate. They come over to my team and they make over $100,000. We just do it. Why? Or what are we doing? Well, we're talking to people differently about real estate. We are understanding the psychology behind every conversation, because the thing is everything at the end of the day is an algorithm that needs to be hacked. This guy right here has an algorithm that he has hacked. He's done it through media. He's done it through through the phones. He understands it. Me, what I understand is people. I understand sales. I understand dynamics. And at one point we were talking about partnering up, and I was like, man, you hit the freaking media, you hit the marketing like freaking crazy. I will freaking train people in sales. What should brokers do to keep ahead of the changing brokerage model? That's a freaking fantastic question.
Great question.
Let's jump into that.
Amazing question.
Okay. Yeah. So there's a couple of different things. You have to decide if you're a flat fee company or if you are a freaking split company. And at the end of the day, as long as there's not a franchise fee that is connected to that, I don't necessarily have a problem with that. But, and can we talk about the freaking franchise fees and Realogy? Because I read an article that freaking killed me the other day about how Realogy is looking for operators instead of entrepreneurs. And I thought that was pretty freaking disgusting. It really bothered me a lot.
And it's one of those things where, like, again, because I own multiple businesses as you do.
Yeah.
I get it. And I don't want to hate on them from the entrepreneur side, but as an industry and as a way of feeding my kids, I don't like it.
Well, the thing is at the end of the day, my job is I train entrepreneurs. So through the Hype Man, I brought all this stuff back to my team today. If you were at the office at the Broker Collective between freaking 9:30 and 11:30, you saw 12 members of my team all freaking making phone calls and sending each other on different things, because what we're doing is we're chasing investments. We're chasing freaking vacation rental by owners. We're chasing freaking, new homes. We're doing all of this stuff that no one else is doing because no one else can start doing it. We're in the
right cycle, man. We're in the right cycle.
And what we're doing is, so what brokers need to do, brokers have to be at the forefront of thought, the forefront of information, or they have to align themselves with people that are, which is just flat out the truth, because you either get branded by something that you believe in or you brand and build something that you believe in. And most brokers have, like, if I hit a broker in the head with a 2x4 of information, they still wouldn't know what to do with it. But if I can give you actionable steps, and if I could give your brokers all these different apps that they can use, and if I could show your broker how to freaking create lead gen, and then your broker could send you over for training, and they could do all this other stuff, your broker could be a goofball
and still win
through the broker collective.
Yep.
So but what are we doing? What am I doing through my brokerage? I'm supporting my brokerage through media. It is the casting source for all of my content, period. We are supporting them with all of these cutting edge apps, all this cutting edge lead gen. We are supporting our brokers, we're launching a coaching platform called Coaching by Design. Because at the end of the day, you have to honor your design. You have to do what you do well and do a whole bunch of it. And then what you don't do well, pay other people to do that crap for you. Fire yourself constantly.
Yeah, we talk about that a lot. Find the missing man in your business.
Yeah.
And I want to go to real quick. So
the Realology thing.
Well, that's another one. The franchise fees, which I think this will feed right into it.
Okay.
So what I wrote down as a quick note, I can't imagine. Especially so if you weren't or aren't in the military, you may not understand this, but just hear me out and follow me for a second. I can't imagine, and we'll talk about officers, because that's how I view a broker. They're an officer, whether it's a new broker or a seasoned broker. Here it is. You're supposed to be waging war, which is what brokerages should be doing. You're waging war. You're going out. You're trying to win in the market space, whatever that space is, right? And here it is. They don't lead from the front. So when I look at the Marine Corps, the lieutenant is out there. The colonel is leading everybody that has all lieutenants in the different platoons.
That's right.
That's actually running the battalion. Or, if it's battalion, lieutenant colonel. If you're talking about the regiment, then it's a colonel. If you're talking about the division, it's a general. And they're physically out there. Not only that, but they're constantly learning, and they aren't just listening to other guru garbage, but they're learning and then implementing quickly in order to ensure that their Marines and their troops are ready to wage war in any climb or place. When I look at brokers in the way that they are right now, they're going to stuff that makes them feel good.
Yes.
Or they're getting something where you can come into the office and watch this thing that makes you feel good because it motivates you.
It is the illusion
but it's not
of
implementing anything it's the illusion of work. It's not implementing anything that's actually creating a profit. And the way I look at it is 95% of my energy every day goes towards creating a profit, whether it's in this business or my other businesses. I spend 95% of my energy there. The other 5% is creating other, basically other things that are ancillary that are always going to bleed back down into creating
at the end of the day, that's
business.
because you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You're a CEO. You understand business. And the thing is most brokers are agents that didn't want to be agents anymore, and most managers are failed agents that don't want to get their broker's license.
Right, and they don't actually want it. But these are truths. It hurts.
That hurts.
It hurts, but it's true.
At the end of the day, so the thing, what should a broker do? A broker should be a CEO or hire a CEO to get out there and expand their business, expand their foothold in their market, open up new opportunities for them. Because what I'm trying to do for Wendy Whitelaw and for Rob and for Kurt and all these guys is I'm trying to go out and acquire 100 companies, get 10% of them so that we get access to better systems because we're aligning with other industries. So there's a million different things that a broker could do, but freaking stand around in the office and talk to people and waste time is not one of those freaking things.
So this is what it is. Now, you said something that was key. And brokers will hear that and say, well, that's what I am doing. So expand your business. Well, that's what I am doing. No, they're expanding their recruiting. There was a moment, I remember having a conversation. I was looking at a brokerage a while ago, and I made the decision based off of what I was told. Oh, so-and-so, she's actually on vacation because the broker sent her because she over exceeded her recruitment numbers. And I'm like, first off, why are you telling me that? So you're basically creating a puppy mill. And that's what you consider expanding your business is by just recruiting more agents as opposed to saying, I have these agents. I'm going to make each individual as best as I can. Not everybody's going to win.
Yeah,
but I'm going to make as many.
Water, they got to drink.
That's right. But I'm going to try to make as many winners as possible. Every single person a winner. Every single person a six-figure agent.
Yes.
And as people come on, that's the expectation that they know they're going to win. And that's how I expand the market by actually expanding the brand, expanding the actual exposure of the brokerage, which is beneficial to the agents, and then expanding the agents so they go out and expand the brokerage.
Expand the agent. So like at the end of the day, like what is your job as a broker? Your job is to systematize everything that agents don't want to do so that an agent can get paid by showing up to work and doing one thing extraordinarily well. And so that's what I'm trying to do. If you don't want Legion, don't sign up for the Legion. Don't pay for it. If you don't want freaking coaching, don't sign up for the coaching. Don't pay for it. What we want to do is we want to create a way that we can support you in every place in your business. And so if you don't want to be on the phones, our call center will do it. And now what I'm doing is through the Hype Man is I'm creating a series of businesses that we can plug entrepreneurs into at every level and all throughout the country that can get to work selling these products for us. Because how great would it be if Kris McCullough was like, hey, man, I don't want to freaking hit the freaking phones anymore. I want to have people doing it for me. Well, we are developing technology through what people used to use for campaign call centers, where like, let's say I really want Mitt Romney to get elected. And so I turn on my phone and I plug him in. I'm like, we got to do business in a freaking swing state. So I'm calling Colorado and all the scripts pop up on my screen. Well, guess what? The Hype Man's already developing it. We're going to make it so that people who are unlicensed can make unlicensed phone calls as ISAs and OSAs by plugging into our call center.
Yep.
And now they're booking appointments for you. So if you're interested in having us book your listing appointments for you, and if you're willing to pay me a 50% referral for having people book appointments for you, guess what? That's the Hype Man. If you're not licensed and you want to make a freaking $1 million by booking listing appointments, never leaving your house and working in your underwear, call me up. It's the freaking Hype Man. We're going to be launching that crap in January. And we have 3 products already. We have 2 products. My fingers lied and let everybody know I didn't get the third one yet. But we've got another meeting here in a couple of days, and I've got 4 meetings from the road that I'm taking while I'm in the Western United States because I want to acquire product that I believe in that is fantastic, send it to agents, have those agents freaking get involved. And the other thing is if you don't want to be an agent anymore and you just want to go out and you want to sell a bunch of product that's going to make you a whole hell of a lot of money and you're sick of dealing with real estate, look up the Hype Man.
Do me a favor real quick since we brought it up, and then we'll probably double back on it. So you're getting ready to do this tour where if people are watching this, or especially when this goes on YouTube, because it's where most of the people follow me.
Yeah.
Where are you going to be? Do you have a schedule yet? Or if you don't have a schedule, where can somebody go to find the schedule when you post it?
I do have the schedule. It's on Facebook. We have, I think, 5 or 6 locations that are booked in stone. And then we have another 6 locations that another 4 locations that we're looking to book. But we're willing to add 2 a day in certain areas, in certain markets. But what we're doing is we're going through California, we're going through Nevada, Washington, Idaho, Nevada, Arizona, and Utah. So we're doing the 7 Western United States, and then we're going to hop on a plane in January, and we're going to do the East Coast. We're going to start in Florida. I'm talking to my buddy David, who's also a Marine out there, and I'm going to try to start there in Florida, and then I'm going to work up to go see Amy right outside of Lejeune, because I want to do it. I want to end it at Pendleton with this side of the book tour, and then we're going to end it at Lejeune with the other side.
That'd be kind of cool. Actually, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I'll fly out to Lejeune. Yeah, I'll come hang out.
Want to come do the tour?
I got shit else to do. I don't do anything.
Hop on the freaking RV with me. Hey man, if you want to go on Friday.
Are you taking off Friday? See, my wife would kill me.
Or no, Monday.
Young kids. She's getting ready to
bring
go
your
out.
Kids.
Dude, I'll fly out and meet you. I'll meet you while you're out.
Dude, if you want to do that, I would love it. So, because what we're doing, guys, is I am going to load up my family, and we're going to hop on an RV, and we're going to do a 2-week loop through the Western United States. We're going to go see Christmas stuff all over the freaking country. I'm going to do 14 podcasts in 14 days, and I'm going to finish writing my book before January 1st. But it's going to be me and Zach. We got this interesting idea at the closing table at the Ritz-Carlton, and this guy says, we do a 55-hour blitzkrieg. We're freaking Friday night to Monday morning. We all lock ourselves in the office and we just work. And I was like, what if I did that for 2 weeks?
That'd be cool.
Massive actions, massive results, right? So I was like, I haven't finished my book yet. No Okinawa. Not yet, Daniel. No Okinawa.
No, man.
But hey man, if you figure out a way to get me out to Okinawa, I'll go out there and I'll talk to a bunch of Marines.
Definitely we'll get done and we'll head out to the Blue Hawaii. We'll go outside of Kenville and see what's up.
And the other thing I want to talk about is Realogy. I think Realogy is a freaking I'm not a big Realogy fan. I'm just not a big Realogy fan.
So how do you really feel?
How do I really feel? I feel like Realogy is a dinosaur and they're just freaking stomping around. They don't even know that they're freaking dead yet. They're a sinking ship. The thing is if you are at Realogy, prepare to be replaced by an app. Because they're still selling you guys market leader. I just said it. They're still selling you guys. They're still giving you guys market leader. Guess what? It stinks. It's a terrible app.
Market leader is garbage. And it's funny because I have people that actually like try to argue with me. And again, the real estate blitz is really, again, I'm not selling anything. To me, this is something that I chose to do. Yeah. I'm not a coach. I'm not a guru. I'm just some guy that found some success, nowhere near as much as you have, but I found some success.
Anyway, man.
And I'm just trying to help other people. And then they want to argue with different types of products. I'm like, you can say what you want, but it's a garbage product.
So time and time again, I end up talking to people and they give me the same thing. Well, okay, we've already got all this technology. We've got this, we've got that. Your technology sucks. And I tell them this. I have a good buddy of mine who I served in the Marine Corps with. His name is Bastidas. And he went out and he learned Pashtun. He learned a foreign language in 2 months before we freaking deployed. And it's not an easy language, but because it honors his design, he already knows Russian. He already knows how to speak Spanish because his dad is from freaking Russia and his mom was from freaking Ecuador. But he showed up and he learned the language. And you know what happened? He kept us alive because he could speak the language. And he told us, hey, they're not telling you the truth. I speak the language. This is what they actually said. And we just kept it a secret. Now, what I did was I told this guy who was trying to, who we're talking to about potentially joining their brokerage. And I said, you don't speak Pashtun. Rob Morrow speaks Pashtun. He knows technology like Kris does. He knows technology. You need someone who could speak Pashtun to tell you when you're getting ready to step on an IED if you don't know how to read Pashtun. Do you get what I'm saying?
Right.
So like at the end of the day, like people always say to me, they say, well, we've got this. What I want to do is I want to call me up when you have financing. Call me up when you have a location. When I get these things, I don't freaking need you and I won't be back. Call me back when you get a broker's license. I'll make you a partner. I won't be back. I don't want a broker's license. I want to freaking hype sales. I want to make $1 billion. I want my kids to be trillionaires. And if I'm going to make $1 billion, I got to freaking get started now.
So let's talk about sales. So you said that it's funny because when it comes to real estate agents, to me, I think they feel like sales is a dirty word. And, I'm a big Grant Cardone fan. I was actually chatting with Corey, who's over there with Cardone. And, at the end of the day, agents want to hug, smile, and they think that if people just like them, that's enough. Yeah. And then they lie to themselves. This is the best part. Well, if I just really provide a really good service, and I'm a boutique, so I only work with a few clients every year, that's garbage.
Okay, so there's a couple of different things that I want to flip on its ASS right now. First off, boutique. If you really want to be a boutique and it's just you and 3 other agents and that's your thing, that's freaking fine. But stop selling it to us like it's anything other than exactly what it is, which is just a little freaking mom and pop shop. Right. So if you want to sling freaking real estate, you better align yourself with somebody like the RERC if you're a boutique so that we can give you all of that stuff. Now, at the end of the day, what is sales? Okay. And this is something that we talked about when I spoke at Signature. Somebody said, oh, well,
I love that, Mike.
What do you say? Real estate agents what?
He said
deny that they're in sales.
They deny that they're in sales. We're in sales.
So this is the thing. And I said, you could be a real estate dragon. You could do whatever the hell. I don't care if you don't want to work in sales. Don't work in sales. But understand that you have to provide an extraordinary amount of value to people and you have to start thinking about things differently because if you're an I personality, right? Like I'm an ENTP. I have no problem being in sales. I'm a freaking high D driver. I'm always closing, but there are people out there that does not honor their design. They have to believe in what they're selling. That's why through the Hype Man, I'm just selling product that I believe in. You have to sell product that you believe in and then it'll make life a lot easier. But at the end of the day, if you show up on Friday, I'll tell you how to sell things without even freaking selling them. Because people don't like the feeling of sales. They don't like pushing people into saying yes to something that they don't necessarily feel like has intrinsic value to them. But if we can offer value through scripting, right. Here's one thing. This is one piece of so I don't make anyone sign into to an open house. We reverse psychology the hell out of everyone at every open house. We make it so that people want to give us their information by providing value. And this is one of the things. Has anybody talked to you about taxes? Oh, no. You know what? I'm working with a real estate agent. I'm working with a real estate agent is keyword and code for shut up. I don't want to talk to you. Right. I've been to 6 other open houses today. Right. So guess what? If you have an open house, guess what? I'm still going to talk to you about taxes. I'm going to hook you up so that you can go out there and freaking get and do what you need to do because your lazy ASS real estate agent is still at home. Or maybe your real estate agent is your best friend in the world. I don't care. I'm still going to provide value. So I tell them, you know the difference? No. Has anybody talked to you about taxes? No, nobody's talking about taxes. Of course they haven't because nobody wants to talk to you about taxes. It's not sexy. But if you're in this neighborhood here and we're at a 1.3% tax rate, and you go 2 neighborhoods over and you're at a 2.2% tax rate at $400,000. Well, 1.3% at $400,000 is $5,200 annually. 2.2% at $400,000 is $8,800 annually. A difference of $3,600 a year.
If I could save more house,
if I could save you $300 a month just by avoiding those tax areas, is that something that you might be interested in?
Absolutely. You can get a better house. You can get more for your money, and it is providing value.
Just like if you don't want to be in sales, that's fine. Show up on Friday. I will help you sell without feeling like you're selling, so that all you're doing is providing extraordinary value and extraordinary service. And this is my close at the end of the day. We go back and we see freaking the houses that they want to see again, and then you push the two with and I'm going to tell you how to get there, but you push the two MLS printouts across the table, and then you don't even have to say, do you want to write an offer? Where do you want to come in at? It's implied. You know what I mean? Right. So stop thinking about how do I close? What's my closing line? And start thinking about the psychology to put yourself in the right situation so that the deal closes itself. And all you have to do is follow my standard operating procedures for sales.
So where and when? Tell people where.
Friday at 9:15. We're kicking it off at the RERC, which is on the corner of Inez and Rancho Cal in Temecula. And we're going to give you the 3 breakdowns of the deal, Serpa six-figure secrets, all that good stuff, so that your team can go out and sling real estate. I promise you, I have no interest in recruiting you and recruiting your team and any of that crap. I just want to tell you how to sling real estate so you can say that David Serpa is a genius.
Good. I'm going to make sure that we post this up on YouTube and SoundCloud and everywhere else as well. And we'll bump it a couple times. So that way we make sure people know about this, and then we'll put it in the show notes too. I'm taking notes.
Dude, this is fun. Let's just keep going. Let's do this every week. Right? What is today?
Well, Tuesday? This is what I'm thinking. While you're on the road, maybe we do a quick check-in and talk about real estate. Dude. And then I'll fly out and meet you somewhere while you're on the way. You know, because we'll talk. There's other stuff going on, which I'll probably announce next week. The things that we're doing right now.
Yes.
So once that's kind of cleared out, then
when we shut this laptop, let's talk about all these things too, and let's see. Because at the end of the day, this is what Kris and I do every single time. This is what we do. Kris and I have been we've been orbiting around each other for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And we keep checking in. We're like, is this the right time for us to do business together? Is this the right time for us to do business together? And look at me. Look at me, computer. I'm telling you, at some point or another, Kris McCullough and I, we're going to do freaking business together. We're going to freaking partner up on something.
It's inevitable. And I think
it's inevitable.
It's inevitable. I think it's just one of those things where, you know, we keep, so this, like for me right now, like a lot of people know, you know, I'm focused on the development and the spec builds.
See you Friday, Tommy Taylor.
But, you know, the development, the spec builds. And so a lot of people, they don't know that I spend a lot of time on the investor side. On top of that, building out and going to our next level as far as going from a team of 4 in a year to a team of 20, now to go from 20 to 80 and actually expanding.
I want to talk to you about development because the thing. So I have an appointment with Assemblywoman Melissa Melendez, and I'm talking to her. I'm going to be talking to her about development amongst a lot of other things. Yeah. Because what I want to do is I want to bring industry to Temecula. I want to have downtown Temecula have an identity. So it's not just Old Town, but we have an old town or a downtown wing, because that'd be cool. Like tech needs to come here. Like us as adults, as people that have 3 kids, we want to save ourselves the extra 2 hours in babysitting and just have a cool downtown area in Temecula. Because the thing is, we have wine country. Wine country's sexy as hell. We have a great time. All the stars, all the celebrities are coming out to freaking wine country for the day. We want them to be seen here at night. And so what I'm trying to do is I'm going to start chasing the technology field. And I'm talking to Melissa Melendez about what we could do about potentially trying to offer some tax incentives to get big businesses out here so that I can chase tech in Iowa. Because who the hell wants to be in Iowa anyway? Nobody. I could chase tech in Washington, in the Seattle area. Because who the hell wants to be in Washington anyway? We're in Southern California.
That's right.
I want to chase tech in freaking Colorado. And I want to get all these people out to Southern California, out to wine country. Because the thing is wine country, we're like 80% built out. We're like 80% built out at best. So I want to bring deep pockets to wine country to freaking start developing and putting money into us. So, because then what happens? All of our dollar points go up. We have skilled labor right here in the Temecula Valley that is commuting to San Diego, that's commuting to Orange County, that's commuting to Los Angeles, and is leading California. If we could get skilled labor to stay in California, if we could launch the first production company in Temecula, and if we could bring tech and industry to Temecula, downtown Temecula will happen. The Riverwalk is already on its way. Let's bring culture to Temecula, more culture.
I wish I could, and we just don't have enough time. There's so many things I want to talk about, like especially when you talk about California. Yeah. And I posted up something last night on my Facebook page. I was like, call me Nostradamus. 2 years ago, I was preaching, and I literally would have people hating on me, like sending me, oh, you don't know what the hell you're talking about, you young kid, and I'm like, if you don't see where California is going, we're in trouble. And that's the same thing I'm preaching right now when I talk about real estate agents in the real estate industry. Yeah. So I'm telling you, and I hear, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, kid. Okay. You watch.
So first off, this guy was talking about marijuana before anyone was talking about marijuana.
That industry, man.
I'm telling you, you have to have your ears to the ground if you want to be an influencer in this market. And if you're not going to be an influencer, you better freaking know one. Do you get what I'm saying? You better freaking listen to one. You better freaking tune in, because the thing is the influencers in this market, it's not just about being a real estate agent anymore. It's not. I know that it feels good to be a real estate agent. I know that your time with your family is fun and all that good stuff, but you have to start diversifying around real estate so that you have an identity outside of it. Right. Because, and the other thing is, guys, and I know that I'm getting long-winded. We have to pull our resources to start fighting Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com. We have to bind together to fight against Realogy, because if we don't do it, they will be involved in our demise while we are paying them to put us out of business.
That's the crazy part. We're paying them for it. So now and like I said, I feel like I just want to keep going, because
let's keep going.
I asked when I was on the phone with,
I don't got anything to do today. You're my last appointment.
Well,
let's hang out.
I haven't eaten yet. So that's the only thing. Like, I'm sitting here going, man, I'm hungry. But I talked to Toby Salgado and I mentioned to him. So like, he's like, man, life balance. And you and I have had this discussion multiple times about life balance.
It's not easy taking it easy.
It's tough. It's not easy taking it
easy. We're talking about it on our podcast episode.
Yeah. Too. And life balance is just one of those things. And I think, it's almost like knowing yourself so you don't end up in the hospital. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And Kim tells me sometimes, because I go, I'm usually up no later than about 5:15, 5:30. I'm going to go until about usually midnight, 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning every day. And it's not that I'm a crazy person. I don't think I'm a crazy person. I'm an obsessed person. I'm obsessed with what I do.
You know what it's called? So I'm an ENTP. And ENTPs, so we're naturally Promethean in nature. We want to help everybody with everything.
Tell everybody what that means and how they can figure out what they are.
Yes.
Before we go deeper into that.
Good. So log on. Take a look. I think it's like 16 personalities or something like that. Your Myers-Briggs test. MYERS-BRIGGS. Take your Myers-Briggs test. You have to start your journey inward, figuring out who the hell you are and how you are designed and what is important to you. And it will give you like 8 pages of a breakdown of what you are. And then keep finding out who you are. So I figured out that I'm not only an ENTP, which means that I am. So like Einstein was an INTP. He was an introverted version of what I am. Tesla was an ENTP. So we are people that we are extraordinarily good at making a ton of money. We're extraordinarily good at inventing. We are terrible with our own money, and it absolutely freaking kills us. So you find a lot of people who are ENTPs that make a bunch of people a bunch of money and don't make themselves anything and die broken alone. So that's what I am. And then I also found out that I'm a genius. I took the freaking test and whatnot. And so what it did was it opened up my eyes. Right. And then I was like, okay, I'm not just crazy. I'm just very freaking smart and motivated. So ENTPs also happen to be hypermanic, that's not a mental illness, because there is technically no downside of being hypermanic. Hypermanic means I wake up in a good mood. I work all day, every day. I am obsessive. I freaking work 20-hour days like this guy, and I will do it and not feel exhausted. But while I'm doing it, I forget to eat. I forget to sleep. I don't take care of myself. Yeah. So what ends up happening is I end up dropping 20, 30 pounds while I'm freaking excited about doing things. And then I'll put 15 pounds on
when I find an obsession. When I find an obsession. And if it's something that catches me and like I'm just running. Mm-hmm. And I think for me, when I was talking to Toby, he says, well, it seems like you have a lot of irons of fire. And it's like, you don't understand. If I don't, that's when I become depressed.
Yes.
Like I start getting depressed and I'm
People
slowing
keep
down.
telling me, they're like, Serpa, you've got too much going on. Like focus on 2 or 3 things and do them well. Focus on one thing and do it well. Well, at the end of the day, if I can work, like, and I'm extraordinarily effective. I'm extraordinarily effective with what I do. So if I can do 4 average people's 8-hour work days in one day, why would I not have 4 businesses? It's just stupid. And so the thing is what people want you to do is they want you to slow down. They want you to be slow. They want you to be lazy so that they can feel good about themselves.
They feel good about themselves. They're like, well, you're like me. They want to reflect.
They want this guy to not make any sense to them. They want him to have a problem. They want me to have a problem. They want something to be wrong with me. They want him to be a jerk. They want me to be a freaking, what's the latest? The latest is that I'm a cokehead. That I'm snorting cocaine.
What's it called?
It was the weirdest experience of my life. Getting a call from somebody and him saying, I heard that you're on cocaine.
Conveniently.
You know what? Stop crapping on me because I'm ripping it up. So this is the thing. Coaches, brokers, and all these other people, they're all standing online with one another and they're all looking at each other like this. And they're all saying, well, what do you want to do, Kris? Do you want to go forward? Did you learn something? Are you ready to launch this app? And they're all staying in line with each other, right? All these brokers, are you going to implement this? Okay, don't offer too much value. Let's not offer. What are you going to do? Are you going to, because the thing is what guys like us do, guys like the freaking the RERC and through his brokerage and his team, we flip the script. We flip the curve. We throw everything off. And then what people start doing is they start looking at us like there's something wrong with us. But what you have to do is you have to be on the forefront of thought. You have to be on the forefront of real estate. You have to be blazing the trail. And if you're not blazing the trail and you're just looking to the left and the right of you to see what everyone else is doing, you are going to sink. You're going down.
You know what? It's almost like you remember the Donner Party? If y'all don't know what the Donner Party is, up north, right?
Thank you, Mario Vargas.
Yeah, right, man.
Addthewow.com.
Yeah.
I got branded by Mario Vargas. This guy got branded by Mario Vargas.
If you want good branding nationwide, the guy that I just posted up, so if you're seeing this on YouTube or Facebook, if you're listening to the podcast, you won't see it, but it's Mario Vargas, addthewow.com. This dude has, like, for our business, changed our business.
Yeah. And he was the first one to start doing it.
Yep.
Everyone else that is doing it now is just doing it because Mario Vargas was doing it. So, yes, it takes a while to freaking see him, but you pay for the best and you wait for the best. And Mario Vargas at addthewow.com is the best.
Yep. So this is what I was talking about, whether it's a Donner Party or when people came over here from England and they're trying to make their way in America and everything else, right? What I see with a lot of agents is that they're trying to sit in camp and they're like, but it's cold and I'm hungry and, you know, we don't know how to get food. And, you know, and you see dudes like dying off, they're like warming up, they're getting naked together and stuff. And they're trying to share body heat and they're just dying off. Right. And they're just watching them die. And then they say, well, let's start eating each other. That's what they do with the Donner Party. Right. And I'm just going to eat you because I'm hungry. Instead of sitting there and going, you know what? Let's blaze a trail. I would rather die
on the road trying to. And I remember my wife, she, when we first started all this, I like where you're going with that. I'd rather die on the road. I'd rather die on the road than freaking break off Kris McCullough's leg and start eating it.
Right. You know, and I remember we were talking about this. She looked at me one day, and it's funny because she's picked me up and I picked her up in the very beginning of all this. She's like, so when is this going to be enough? Like, when are we going too far? When are we going to just quit?
Yeah.
And I says, I will burn it all down.
Yeah.
I'll burn it all down. We will live in a car. We will lose everything. And we will build it. I don't care. So we're never quitting.
I named my son Wyatt, along with my ex-wife, Wyatt. And we named him Wyatt because of Wyatt's Torch and Atlas Shrugged. Ellis Wyatt and Atlas Shrugged is a guy who had this amazing freaking, I think it's an oil refinery or something like that. The government came to take it all away from him. So he burned it to the ground and walked. And so this torch was burning throughout the course of the rest of the book. So they called it Wyatt's Torch. I was like, that's awesome. I'm going to name my kid Wyatt.
Yep. Actually, Chet Smith, he's on here somewhere. Chet Smith bought me that book.
It's a great book.
As a Christmas gift, I think. Last
year. It is a freaking read, though. It's like 1,800 pages.
Oh, it's no joke.
But the thing is, at the end of the day, I need more sponsors. I need more affiliates. It's about a $6,000 investment for us to go out on this book tour. John Rough and Ready Moving.
Yep.
He's already there.
Love those guys.
He's already in. Who's John Galt? That's right, Chet Smith. Well-read mother effer. So, hey, Rough and Ready Moving, they're going to be sponsoring us. They're the first people on board And listen, we already have started working with Rough and Ready. I don't take freaking just anybody. This guy, John Ruff, is legit. If you're not paying attention to what he's doing on Facebook, you freaking should be paying attention to what he's doing on Facebook.
I'm going to put him on the show notes. And just so you guys know, John Ruff, his crew personally moved me 3 times.
They moved my girlfriend in with me as well.
And all of our clients, they move them. The dude is changing the game when it comes to social media and how he engages and what he creates and how he produces for agents.
And he's another workaholic.
Clients. Yeah, he is.
He's another
his story,
workaholic.
I want to get him on, actually, because his story, even though he's not a real estate agent, and how he started, basically lived off of nothing for 3 years to build this thing.
Yep.
And just did it.
Thank you,
so
Chet.
it looks like Chet's putting it up. Thanks, Chet, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, and then there's also Ethan. I talked to Ethan today. He did a video for us.
Put that back up because I just pulled down Chet's.
Okay, Ethan Schaefer, freaking Creative Dynamics. He did a video for us recently. It's the guy. At the end of the day, you have to surround yourself with people that are more intelligent than you are in the ways that you lack. Honor your design. I talk to agents all the time and they're like, well, I'm learning how to do this marketing, or I'm learning how to do this, or I'm really struggling to do video. And then you watch their video and it is painful to watch. And it is like 45 minutes of crap. Nobody wants to watch just about anyone talk for 45 minutes. We're lucky that we're both interesting enough to where people are watching us. But at the end of the day,
we're good looking too.
If you don't want to do it, if you don't want to do video, don't do video. Find out what you do extraordinarily well and do more of that.
And then double down, go all in on whatever that is. And you know, the way I look at it, so going back to what you just said, I call it the meet me or beat me. Even when I decided to get married, it was a meet me or beat me situation. You're either at my level or above me.
Yes.
And if you're not, then I can't associate. And it's not, and this is where I see a lot of agents go wrong. They're busy associating, and I hear it, and they're like, yeah, this is what you got. I says, oh, really? So you think that's what you got to do to get business? Who did you hear that from? Well, so-and-so told me. How much business have they done this year?
Consider the source.
How much business have they done? None. So why are you listening to them? Well, how do you think that's true?
And this is the thing. This is the reason why they're listening, Kris. And it's because people listen to agents in their office. And the problem is when you always have to consider your source. I was told a million different things by a million different people when I started at the puppy mill that I started at. And so when someone's telling you, hey, don't do that, it's a waste of time. Open houses are a waste of time. Open houses stink. Open houses don't stink. You stink. If you can't close somebody at an open house, you stink. And that's okay. You just have to get educated. But don't educate yourself at crap that you're not necessarily going to be good at. You just have to be proficient enough to know that you don't understand it.
Right. No doubt. So real quick.
I don't know if I can do anything real quick, bro.
I'm going to ask you, where can people find you? How can they reach out to you? So if they're, everybody that's watched this, plus all the people that are going to see this for the next forever years, because I'm putting it on YouTube and everywhere else. So it's funny. I did an interview with Don Costas on working with lawyers or something like that. And I literally got another message yesterday. I still have people every week reach out to me because they heard that. So people are going to hear this. How can people find you, David Serpa, online, or how can they reach out to you if they have questions or want to find out more?
First off, I agree with a lot of the people that have been saying this on here. I would love to come back again. I'd love to freaking make it a regular thing. This was fun as hell.
It always is.
My office is 10 minutes away. So if you want to freaking do something like this on the regular, is that something that you guys would want? You want me and Kris to freaking talk regularly? Because I love this. This is fun.
Do this all day.
But if you want to look me up, David Serpa, SERPA. I run the Homes Team, thehomesteam.com. I also own the broker. I'm an owner in the Broker Collective, the brokerage agency, the Homes Team, Coaching by Design. And then I work with my partner on Top of Mind Media. And then what we're doing is, guys, pay attention in January and February, because I am going to be releasing several companies that are real estate related that will help you out immediately in your business. And not only that, I'm going to start working on ways for real estate agents to get paid outside of real estate that you would need your real estate license for. And one of those things, can I just talk about this for a second?
Have at it, man.
Dude, and this is one of those, I wasn't going to talk to you guys about it until I hit the road, but I'm talking to this awesome guy. His name's Jay Massey, and he runs this.
I love Jay Massey. I'm a huge fan. Actually, I'm trying to get
a flip phone. I have a flip phone now, so that people can't bother me all the time. Hey, I'm doing Kris's radio show. Can I call you in 10 minutes? Okay, bye.
So before we go into that, because I'm going to talk about the flip phone. So you all know, I was getting ready to do a bunch of video series. We were gonna we're going to basically do the cars of real estate agents, and we're also going to do like stuff like this. So what's cool about David, tell him about what you drive.
Okay, so I drive a 2014 van.
And we're going to do a full-blown like hardcore video
Dodge
series
Durango
like on it. And the thing is, it's a different mindset. Like if you think about a lot of people, myths, and I talk about myths all the time on the Real Estate Blitz. A lot of people think like they're trying to chase this dude that has the Rolls Royce, when maybe you should just be focused on just clean your car really well and actually get some listing appointments.
Yeah,
like,
I drove so up until like 3 months ago, when I blended a family and I have six people that we got to drive around, I was driving a Mitsubishi Endeavor with 275,000 miles on it, which is what this guy is talking about. And it is faded, and I still have it, and I still drive it around.
But at the end of the day,
it's paid off.
It's paid off, and it's a mix of, again, mindset. What are you trying to accomplish? But I think, unfortunately, agents are always trying to chase money. And the way I've always put it, chasing money isn't bad, but money should be the byproduct. You should, like for me, well, everybody's different. I'm always chasing something else.
Let me tell you about this vacation rental by owner product. Okay. Yeah. So I was talking to Jay Massey. Jay Massey's got this thing going on that he told us about at the closing table. And what we're going to do is we're going to figure out ways for agents to get paid on this passively once you get it set up. I'm hopefully going to be meeting with Jay here pretty soon. I've got meetings set up with a $4 billion man, Darren Campbell. I'm going to be talking to him. He's personally sold $4 billion in real estate. I got an appointment set up with Will Caldwell, who is the developer of Dizzle, which is a fantastic app about how you could get all of your affiliates to pay for being their affiliate or your affiliate, and it's legal. And so we're talking to Will Dizzle. We're talking to freaking Darren Campbell about investing. We're talking to Jay Massey about the VRBO thing. And I want to bring all of this crap right back to you guys, because at the end of the day, this is what we have. We have a bunch of really intelligent nerds who can't sell things or can't reach a whole bunch of people. And then we have a bunch of freaking entrepreneurs or people that don't even realize that they could be entrepreneurs yet. And what I want to do is I want to pair Jay Massey's idea with all of these freaking hype men all throughout the freaking country. I want to take freaking Bill Caldwell and Dizzle, and then I want you guys to be out there slinging Dizzle all throughout the freaking country. So what I want to do is I want to create a situation where real estate agents can now become entrepreneurs and diversify without actually having to diversify on your own. I'm going to go do it for you. I'm going to go diversify, and I'm going to bring you guys all with me. So at the end of the day, I want to work with all of these real estate agents. I want to work with David and Sandy Stites. I want to work with Ashley Cooper. I want to work with freaking Val Ives. I want to work with Lisa and Yoren Force, because what I want to do is I want to create a situation where real estate agents are getting paid massive amounts of money by freaking selling stuff that is already connected to real estate, that they're already freaking doing all over the country. And then once you set this shit up, you get paid forever.
Yep.
As long as your clients are continuing to freaking sign up for this stuff, then they're going to, hey, you know what? You're already in, Daniel. You're already in, freaking Angela. I appreciate you guys. Send me a friend request. David Serpa, Serpa. You could look at the Homes team on YouTube to see all of our YouTube channels. But the thing is, I am starting the Hype Man. I actually already started it today. And I'm going to freaking be putting together a YouTube channel for the Hype Man. I'm going to be doing the podcast as the Hype Man. All of that stuff before, it's all great and all. But now I'm taking all of the ownership that I'm taking in every single company that I own as the Hype Man, so that we can start putting that logo out there, so that every time that you guys see the Hype Man logo, you're like, okay, this is good tech. Mm-hmm. Or I see the Hype Man logo. Ooh, this cord, this is where it's at. And so freaking, hey, Shakir, I want you in, brother. I want you in too. So what I want to do is I want to help people become entrepreneurs. The bar in real estate's too high. It's too high. And a lot of people say, it's too low, it's too low, it's too low, it's too low. The bar in real estate is too high. I want to make it so that people can become entrepreneurs at 18, 19 years old. So that single moms can become an entrepreneur.
We talk about high and low. And to me, what you just said, and people may not understand it. It's a mind shift.
Yep.
So explain that a little more. Go a little bit deeper.
So every single real estate agent out there that has been doing this for 15 years, they want to complain about how low the bar of entry is. But the thing is there's a lot of people like me who barely made it. I grew up in Section 8 housing. I grew up freaking white trash, long line of freaking white trash, and I could barely freaking afford to get into real estate when I got out of the Marine Corps with a fused and reconstructed ankle. And so I think the bar is actually too high. it should be lower. But instead of going after real estate, because the thing is, I have a bunch of ideas through the VRBO and through the investing and through the REOification of new homes that you will be able to tie into as a real estate agent, make a ton of money, tie into that network, and it's going to be $49 a month through the hypeman.com once I get that loaded. And so anyway, there's all of that. But the thing is you should be able to sell that stuff as a real estate agent, but why not an 18 and 19-year-old kid who grew up in South Central? Why not a freaking 25-year-old who just got out of jail, right? Why not a single mother? Why not a veteran who just got out?
That's what I was about to say too.
And that's what I'm pushing more so than anything is veterans are underemployed and unemployed. And it freaking kills me because these are guys that went on 3, 4, 5 combat deployments, like one of my best freaking friends. And then they end up getting freaked out about getting out and they end up shooting themselves. Yep. And then you end up with freaking suicide. And you end up with all these different people feeling like they're worthless because in Western society, we are better at one thing than what everyone else in the world is good at. We are great at making people feel replaceable. We are great at making people feel small. We are great at making people feel like I could just get anybody to do what you do. Right. So what I want to do is I want to create a career where I am helping entrepreneurs sell stuff all over the country in different price points with different entry levels. And when you log on to the Hype Man, all you do is you start seeing all 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different ideas. If you want to sell 2 of them, fantastic. But if the price point is $2,000, $3,000 a commission, or if it's $15,000, $20,000 a commission, or it's $500,000 a commission, I want to start putting these huge dollar ideas in front of people to do that because this is the biggest problem that entrepreneurs have. We want to sell 10,000 items at $30 a pop to make $30,000 instead of selling 3 items at $10,000 a pop and making $30,000. Mm-hmm. Your overhead will be less. You are still doing the same amount of work for freaking sales, but now you have increased your ROI dramatically.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. So we're gonna button this up because I know I gotta
eat.
I gotta eat, man. I'm starting to like I'm
shutting down.
I think I'm just gonna go upstairs and crunch on something. So this is a big one. This is kind of how we'll end all this. 2018 is coming. And I keep telling everybody, first quarter's coming. If you're not working right now to make sure you're fed in first quarter, you first off, you need to be. But, what's your number one recommendation that you would give to an agent that's watching this right now? What's your
Jeremy, I actually worked on Shark Tank. Did you know that? So I worked in film and production.
Jeremy was a Marine with me. Met him. We were stationed together when we were 18 years old. That was
Semper Fi, brother.
Yeah, man.
Hey, Jeremy, I worked on Shark Tank. I helped film the opening credits with a guy named J. Paul Boomer Iko Angelo. And so I used to work in reality TV for like 3 or 4 years. But go ahead, brother.
What's your number one recommendation for an agent out there right now going into 2018? What would you recommend that they start doing or do right now in order to kill it?
Okay,
in 2018.
Do what you do well and do a whole hell of a lot of it. Okay, so this is the thing. I can tell you right now how you will make $1 million by working open houses next year, 2018. But you have to freaking start working while everyone else is sleeping. Every major push that we have ever done has always been during the holiday season because every other person decides to put their feet up and rest on their laurels for the rest of the year. So what do we do on the homes team? We hustle for the holidays. That's what we always say. We hustle for the holidays.
Not hustle for the holidays. Hustle for the holidays.
And then what you do is you lay the groundwork for 2018 because let's break it down Barney style, right? That's what we do well with as Marines.
If you don't know who Barney is, he's a giant purple dinosaur. There you go. All right, let's do this.
So I can tell you right now how you will make $1 million in 2018 by holding open houses if you're willing to do it. I'm not going to give you the script right now because I'm going to give that to you while I'm speaking all over the United States over the course of the next 2 weeks on Friday locally. But this is how you make $1 million holding open houses. It's this simple. Let's say you're in California and you're in a decent price point and you're on a crappy split. It's 60%, that's what I always want to do. I always want to talk about the crappiest split. So let's say you're making $5,000 a transaction, which I think is pretty reasonable, right?
Yeah.
So $5,000 a transaction. Can you commit to working 12 hours of open houses a week?
The answer should be yes.
Yes. So the answer is yes. And I also have a phone call algorithm for you as well. But if you could do 12 open houses a week, now, what does that say? That says that I can get 1 client and I need 4 clients. I will get 1 client every 3 hours at an open house. Is that reasonable? Mm-hmm. Can you get 1 client every 3 hours at an open house? Even the crappiest of open houses. Just work at one the next week and pick up a couple.
This is what somebody's going to say. And I'm going to stop you before you go too deep because you're already sitting back there, blah, 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 acting sound like Yosemite Sam. Look, listen. So what somebody's going to say is, well, I don't have any listings or I don't have any open houses. I've done videos on this. Just go on YouTube, the Real Estate Blitz. I've literally done how do you farm to find open houses to stand. In fact, I broke down a daily schedule for you on how to create buzz every single day of the week to prospect, not just from the open house, but everything around that open house. I
almost lost my shit in my freaking last monthly meeting because I was pitching this idea. Someone was like, I don't find an open house, or I haven't been able to find an open house. I said, have you made 100 phone calls?
There it is.
Have you made 100 phone calls?
What are you doing?
If you haven't made 100 phone calls, then shut up.
It's true.
Now, this is the thing. I didn't yell shut up at him, but the thing is like I did get super intense, and because the thing is you have to do the things that no one is willing to do if you want to become a millionaire. Idea, hard work. Idea, $1 million, hard work. The difference is the excuses. The difference is the hard work. So now 12 hours of open houses, you get a client every 3 hours. Each one of those clients makes you $5,000. So you're making $20,000 a week, right? $20,000 a week for 52 weeks is just over $1 million. There.
You're welcome.
There. 12 hours of open houses. Increase your conversion by learning how to talk to people at open houses. That's what I will tell you to do. And you will make $1 million in 2018. We are looking for people at every single location that we go through that will take the pact with the 8 agents that have taken it through my team. And we're calling it the 7-figure pact. If you'll take the 7-figure pact with us, we want to get a whole bunch of people together. We want to work on accountability together. And we want to make 7-figure agents. Now, if you're David and Sandy Stites and you're watching this, if you're Christian Stone and you're watching this, if you're James Shelby and you're watching this and you've got a team and you want to bring them on Friday, we will do the 7-figure pact with your team. You don't even have to do anything. You don't have to freaking do any of this other stuff. Just bring them. We'll give them the scripts. We'll set them up. And now, what is 40% of $1 million? But the thing is, I'm saying $1 million in your own commission. That's the rub. So if you want to make $400,000 off of several members of your team, just have them show up on Friday.
Yep. So like I was saying earlier, you're welcome. Facebook, YouTube, anybody else that's watching, you're welcome. And eventually the podcast. Yeah, you're welcome. So I'm going to go ahead and button this up. Look, thank you so much for coming over. Dude, we are going to do this again because it seems like a lot of people, and we always have a good time. Just like we didn't even follow. I ended up turning this off. We didn't even follow any of that.
If you want to do this freaking twice a month or once a month or whatever, honestly, this is something that I enjoy. Talking to Kris McCullough, it'd just be a great excuse to see you every couple of weeks.
Well, this is, what's funny is in the beginning, I started the Real Estate Blitz it turned into a passion of mine, and then it became a burden. Because I'm like, because I was my own self-talk. It sort of became a burden because I'm like, I have to. Yes. And then when I said I don't have to, this is a choice. Now it's become, this is my therapy.
Yeah.
And it's a way for me to actually relax. And I love it that I'm able to, when I get phone calls and I'm helping people. And I think that's why you've gone down the path that you're going down. You're actually, because you're like me, you're helping people and you're in being able to watch other people succeed and actually win. Yeah. Now the difference is you're monetizing what you're doing.
Yes.
I'm not.
Yes.
And everybody has their own path for what they do.
But you got to get paid to if you're going to do something, you got to get paid. If you're good at it, you got to get paid. And if you're not getting paid, you got to get someone else paid. So even if like you go to my charity events, I'm getting my charity paid. Like I know money. I understand money. So like David Serpa on Facebook, which is the way that you're going to get my daily videos, like David Serpa on Facebook. And what will happen is, like he said, I get off the phone with somebody and I have a really intense conversation. I'm going to pick up my phone. I'm going to make a video about it. Mm-hmm. If I get a new idea or if I have something that I'm working on, we're just giving daily updates. And the thing is, perfectionism leads to procrastination, which leads to paralysis. Now you see what Kris is doing. I'm looking at all this cool tech and I'm like, dude, how do I do that? But the thing is at the end of the day, this is Kris.
This isn't how I started. I actually started with this garbage.
And right now,
I'm getting better.
I'm filming videos with my phone and loading them onto Facebook every day. Perfectionism leads to procrastination, which leads to paralysis. I was talking to a billionaire last week, and this guy, well, I think he's a billionaire, but either way, the guy's got a whole hell of a lot of money. His name's Roland, and he was talking about don't worry about editing your videos together. Don't worry about cutting it all together and making it perfect. Just get a video out every day.
Think big, start small, move quickly.
Yes!
That's what it is. Think big, start small, move quickly, and just start running. And I think that's where, I'll even say we fell prey to it. We were thinking big, moving slow. because we were just trying to do all of these.
Dude,
you know, it's not the way.
At the end of the day, that's the kind of stuff that freaking kills me about all these freaking big companies. Because the thing is, so look, flat out, over the course of the last 2 months, I've had companies offer me $250,000, $300,000 to bring their brands here. And at the end of the day, I don't want to just kneel for somebody and bring their crappy brand here to Temecula so that they can go ahead and do whatever it is that they were half-assing somewhere else here. Enough is enough with all of these freaking losers in real estate trying to bring their crap here. We are not buying it. Temecula is different. We've got something unique going on. We've got the collaborative freaking energy here. So at the end of the day, if you want to freaking be collaborative, if you want to freaking talk to Kris, if you want to talk to me, we're collaborating with people all the time. I was talking to freaking Ethan this morning, and Ethan at Creative Dynamics cut together a freaking video for me because he wanted to work with me.
That's cool.
You have to be willing to do things for people that they need if you want to open up those doors. That's me. You just call people up and say, hey, what do you need? What can I do for you? How can I help you?
How can I help? There it is. So that's all we got today. Appreciate it. Look, good live one. Real Estate Blitz, as always. Do me a favor. Check it out on YouTube. Check it out on Facebook. Check it out on SoundCloud. Pretty soon it's going to be on iTunes as well. We should have the website actually up. I think Zoe, if Zoe's on here, I'm sure she is. She's always
all
watching.
These reactions and
yeah,
comments.
You know,
good for you, Kris.
The Facebook page is actually going to be up. Zoe she got me like, I had to go out and do photo shoots and stuff. She made it really pretty, dude. Like, it's not, you know, she's like, you gonna wear a suit? I was like, no, I'm not wearing a suit. But that's going to be up pretty soon. We're going to be, you know, my goal as we move forward is collaborating with people like David and a lot of these other people to actually start bringing the stuff that I believe in or the people I like to actually bring their products, systems, processes, procedures onto the website, onto these different things. So you guys are getting what's actually going to be beneficial and actually works as opposed to buying into. And again, I think for me, it's easy because again, I say I'm not a guru. I'm not a coach. You know, I genuinely want and deeply believe that if we don't make a change, if we don't turn, we're going to hit the iceberg if we haven't already hit it.
You are a guru, Kris. I know that you don't like to think of yourself as a guru, but let's just get real here for a second. I think you are on the forefront of thought in this industry. You are absolutely blazing a trail. You are on your way towards being an influencer. We're not there yet, brother, but we're freaking getting there in a hurry. And at the end of the day, man, when everybody else is freaking not doing what the things that they say you're going to do, you're executing.
Right on. So
love it, brother.
Isn't that awesome? All right, everybody. Appreciate y'all. We're getting off of here. We're going to go do great things.
Simper.